There's a sentence you've probably heard 100 times. Maybe you've heard it from a millionaire on YouTube. Maybe from an Instagram reel. Maybe from a business coach standing in front of a rented Lamborghini. Maybe from a book with the word millionaire printed somewhere on the cover. And the sentence goes something like this. If you want to become rich, you have to think like a rich person. Sounds good. Almost too good. You're told to visualize your future. Wake up at 5 in the morning. Repeat positive affirmations. Imagine yourself driving the car you want. Picture the house. Picture the bank account. Picture the lifestyle. Believe that you're already wealthy. And eventually, your reality will catch up with your thoughts. It's an incredibly attractive idea. Because it turns getting rich into a psychological problem. If you're not wealthy yet, maybe the problem isn't your salary. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe you have limiting beliefs. Maybe you're afraid of money. Maybe you don't believe you're worthy of wealth. Maybe you're subconsciously sabotaging yourself. And once you fix your mindset, everything changes. Except there's a problem. Your bank account doesn't care what you visualize. Your mortgage doesn't care about your affirmations. Your credit card statement doesn't care how positive you feel. And compound interest certainly doesn't care whether you woke up at 5 a.m. The financial system operates on mechanics. Money comes in. Money goes out. Assets compound. Debt compounds. Fees compound. Taxes matter. Time matters. Risk matters. And behavior matters. That's it. So today, we're going to challenge one of the biggest ideas in modern personal finance. The millionaire mindset. Not because mindset is completely useless. It isn't. Your behavior obviously matters. Your beliefs can influence your decisions. Your ability to delay gratification matters. Your willingness to take calculated risks matters. But somewhere along the way, we took a useful idea and turned it into an industry. An industry that can sell you motivation without requiring it to produce measurable financial results. And that's where things get interesting. Because if mindset isn't the main engine of wealth, what is? The answer is much less exciting. And much more powerful. Systems. Automation. Savings rates. Asset ownership. Low costs. Increasing income. Avoiding catastrophic mistakes. Delayed gratification. Time. And boring consistency. In other words, wealth isn't primarily a personality trait. It's a system. And in this documentary, we're going to break that system down. We'll look at the millionaire mindset myth. Why visualization feels so powerful. Why positive thinking can actually become dangerous. Why financial gurus love selling mindset. What wealthy households actually do differently. And most importantly, how you can mechanically change your financial life over the next 30 days. No affirmations required. No Lamborghini. No vision board. Just mechanics. Chapter 1: The Millionaire Mindset Industry. Let's start with something uncomfortable. The idea that you need a millionaire mindset is incredibly easy to sell. Think about it. Imagine you're selling financial education. You have two possible products. Product number 1 says, become wealthy by spending less than you earn, increasing your income, investing consistently in diversified assets, controlling fees, minimizing unnecessary debt, managing taxes, and allowing decades for compounding to work. That's accurate. But it doesn't exactly scream excitement. Now imagine product number 2. Unlock the millionaire mindset and reprogram your brain for abundance. Suddenly, you have a product. You can sell a course, a coaching program, a seminar, a retreat, A journal. A book. A morning routine. A manifestation program. A 7-day mindset challenge. A millionaire meditation. And potentially, a very expensive membership. The problem isn't that all of these things are automatically useless. The problem is that mindset is incredibly difficult to measure. If someone buys a mindset course and doesn't become wealthy, what exactly failed? The course? The strategy? Their commitment? Their subconscious beliefs? Their energy? It's almost impossible to prove. But if you buy an investment product and it loses money, the result is measurable. If your expenses are $4,000 a month and your income is $4,000 a month, there is no mindset argument that can magically create a surplus. The mathematics are simply refusing to cooperate. And this is why I think we need to separate two completely different ideas: mindset as a behavior driver, and mindset as a wealth-generating mechanism. The first one is real. The second one is massively overstated. Your mindset can help you save. Your mindset can help you tolerate volatility. Your mindset can help you avoid lifestyle inflation. Your mindset can help you stay disciplined. But mindset doesn't replace the actual financial engine. If you earn $40,000 a year and spend $41,000, you don't have a mindset problem. You have a math problem. If you earn $100,000 and spend $99,500, you have a very different wealth building capacity from someone earning $100,000 and spending $60,000. Same mindset, different mechanics. And that distinction changes everything. Chapter 2: Why Visualization Feels Like It Should Work. Now let's talk about visualization. Because this is where the millionaire mindset becomes particularly seductive. You're told, picture your future. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself becoming financially independent. You picture a beautiful home. No debt. A large investment portfolio. Freedom. Travel. You feel excited. You feel motivated. And there's a psychological reason this can feel incredibly powerful. Human beings are storytellers. We don't experience our lives as spreadsheets. We experience them as narratives. And when you repeatedly imagine a future version of yourself, you can create an emotional connection with that future. That's useful. But there's a huge difference between imagining the destination and building the road. Imagine you're sitting on your couch. You close your eyes. You imagine yourself becoming financially independent. You picture a beautiful home. No debt. A large investment portfolio. Freedom. Travel. You feel excited. You open your eyes. And for a few minutes, you genuinely feel like your life has changed. But then Monday arrives. Your alarm rings. You go to work. You order lunch. You see a sale online. You use your credit card. Your rent gets deducted. Your subscription renews. Your car needs servicing. And suddenly, the millionaire visualization has collided with ordinary life. This is the problem with motivation. Motivation is emotional. Money management is repetitive. And repetitive systems beat temporary emotions. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every morning and visualize having healthy teeth. You just brush them. Why? Because the behavior has become automatic. That's exactly what we want with money. Not constant motivation. Automatic behavior. Chapter 3: The most important financial mindset isn't a mindset. Here's the mindset shift I actually believe is useful. Stop asking, how can I become motivated to save money? Start asking, How can I make saving money happen without requiring motivation? That is a completely different question. And it leads to systems. Suppose you received your salary on the 1st of the month. You have two choices. Choice 1. Receive the entire salary. Spend throughout the month. Save whatever remains. Choice 2. Receive the salary. Automatically transfer a predetermined amount into investments or savings. Then live on what's left. The second system doesn't require you to become a different person. It simply changes the architecture around your money. And that's incredibly important. Because human beings are not perfectly rational machines. We respond to convenience. We respond to friction. We respond to temptation. We respond to immediate rewards. If spending money is effortless, we tend to spend more. If investing requires 15 manual steps every month, we're more likely to delay it. So the goal isn't to become superhuman. The goal is to design a financial environment where the right decision becomes the easy decision. That's the real secret. Not millionaire thoughts. Millionaire mechanics. Chapter 4: The wealthiest thing you can do with your paycheck. Let's say you make $80,000 a year. Your paycheck arrives. What happens next? Most people think about spending first. Rent, food, transportation, entertainment, subscriptions, shopping, travel. Then, if anything remains, they save. This is what we call, I'll save what's left. And here's the problem. There usually isn't much left. Because lifestyle expands to absorb available money. You get a raise. Your apartment gets nicer. Your phone gets newer. Your vacations get better. Your restaurants become more expensive. Your subscriptions multiply. Your car payment increases. And somehow, despite earning more, you don't feel significantly wealthier. This is lifestyle inflation. And it is one of the quietest wealth killers. Now imagine flipping the sequence. Income comes in. A percentage is automatically directed toward your future. Then the remaining money becomes your spending budget. You don't have to negotiate with yourself every Friday night. You don't have to ask, should I invest this month? It's already happened. That's powerful. Because wealth is often built from decisions you don't repeatedly have to make. Chapter 5: Automation is boring. Here's something the financial industry doesn't always like admitting. The most effective financial habits are often incredibly boring. Automation is boring. Index investing can be boring. Emergency funds are boring. Insurance is boring. Budgeting is boring. Paying bills on time is boring. Avoiding unnecessary debt is boring. Increasing your savings rate is boring. Waiting 20 years is extremely boring. But boring is not the same thing as ineffective. In fact, boring is often exactly what you want. Imagine two people. Person A spends every Sunday watching financial videos. They follow 20 investing influencers. They listen to podcasts while exercising. They read books about wealth. They constantly research the market. They feel extremely financially educated. But they don't have an automatic investment system. Person B barely watches financial content. They have a simple emergency fund. Their investments happen automatically. They keep their costs low. They don't constantly trade. They increase contributions when their income rises. 20 years later, Person B may have a far better financial outcome. Not because they're smarter. Because their system actually runs. This is one of the most important lessons in personal finance. Financial knowledge that doesn't change behavior has very little economic value. Chapter 6: The Guru Business Model. Now we have to ask an uncomfortable question. Why do so many people keep selling mindset? Because mindset is emotionally attractive. And emotional products are easier to sell than boring systems. Imagine someone tells you, your financial future depends heavily on your savings rate, investment behavior, income trajectory, asset allocation, taxes, fees, and risk management. That's complicated. Now imagine someone tells you, you are one mindset shift away from becoming wealthy. That's simple. And it feels personal. It tells you that the solution is inside you. It creates hope. And hope is incredibly marketable. The problem is that hope can become a substitute for execution. You watch one video. You feel inspired. You buy a course. You make a vision board. You write, I am financially free. You wake up at 5 a.m. for 3 days. Then life happens. And 6 months later, you're exactly where you started. This creates another psychological loop. You think, maybe I didn't believe strongly enough. So you buy another course, another book, another program, another productivity system. And the cycle continues. Meanwhile, the boring things that actually matter remain untouched. Your savings rate hasn't changed. Your debt hasn't changed. Your investment contributions haven't changed. Your income hasn't changed. Your financial system hasn't changed. But your motivation has changed. And motivation doesn't show up on a balance sheet. Chapter 7: What actually builds wealth? So if mindset isn't the primary engine, what is? Let's reduce wealth building to a handful of mechanical components. First, earn more than you spend. Second, protect the difference. Third, invest the difference in productive assets. Fourth, avoid destroying the process through catastrophic mistakes. Fifth, give the process enough time. That's the machine. Income, savings, investment, risk management, time. Everything else is secondary. Of course, real life is more complicated. Taxes matter. Asset allocation matters. Debt matters. Inflation matters. Career choices matter. Family circumstances matter. But the underlying machine remains remarkably simple. And that's why I think we sometimes make personal finance unnecessarily complicated. Because simple doesn't sell as well as complicated. Chapter 8: The first machine, your savings rate. Let's talk about savings. Not because saving money makes you rich by itself. It doesn't. But because savings create the capital that allows wealth building to begin. Imagine two people. Both earn $100,000. One spends $95,000. The other spends $65,000. The first person has $5,000 available for wealth building. The second has $35,000. That's a massive difference. And notice something. Neither person needed a millionaire mindset. The second person simply created a larger gap between income and spending. Now here's where it gets interesting. Increasing income is obviously powerful. But when income increases, what happens to your spending? If every raise immediately becomes a larger lifestyle, your wealth may not accelerate much. So here's a mechanical rule worth considering. When your income increases, automatically capture part of the increase. You get a raise. Don't let the entire raise become lifestyle inflation. Maybe your lifestyle improves somewhat, but some portion goes directly toward wealth. This is called lifestyle control. And over a career, it can become enormous. Chapter 9: The second machine, income. There's another uncomfortable truth. You cannot budget your way out of every income problem. If you're earning very little and your essential expenses consume almost everything, telling you to stop buying coffee isn't going to transform your financial life. Sometimes the biggest financial lever is income. Developing skills. Changing employers. Negotiating compensation. Building a business. Adding a side income. Moving into a higher value role. Learning technology. Developing management capability. Building specialized expertise. And this is another place where the mindset industry can distract people. Because saying, "Believe in abundance," is easier than saying, "Spend the next 12 months becoming dramatically more valuable in the labor market." The second one is harder. But it may be much more useful. Your income is not just a number. It's a reflection of the economic value the market is willing to pay for your skills, experience, scarcity, and leverage. So if you want to change your financial trajectory, sometimes the highest return investment isn't a stock. It's yourself. Not in the vague motivational sense. In the economic sense. A skill that increases your annual income by $10,000 can be enormously valuable. A skill that increases it by $30,000 can completely change your wealth building capacity. And unlike a motivational quote, that extra income can actually be invested. Chapter 10, The Third Machine, Automatic Investing. Once you create a surplus, you need somewhere for it to go. And this is where investing enters the picture. The goal isn't necessarily to predict tomorrow's winning stock. The goal is to own productive assets over long periods while managing risk. Depending on your circumstances, that could involve diversified equities, bonds, retirement accounts, real estate, businesses, or other appropriate assets. The specific strategy depends on the person. But the principle is universal. Money that sits idle generally doesn't have the same long-term growth potential as capital invested in productive assets. And this is where time becomes extraordinary. Compounding doesn't feel impressive in year one. That's the trick. You invest. Nothing dramatic happens. You invest again. Still nothing dramatic. Another year. Another contribution. Another year. And then, the returns begin generating returns. Your money starts working alongside you. Eventually, the system becomes less dependent on your monthly labor. That's what financial independence is really about. Not looking rich. Not driving an expensive car. Not appearing successful. It's about owning enough productive assets that your financial life becomes less dependent on your next paycheck. Chapter 11, Delayed Gratification Without the Motivational Nonsense. Delayed gratification gets mentioned constantly in wealth discussions. But it is usually presented as, don't buy anything. Sacrifice everything. Live like a monk. That's not the point. The real idea is opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend today has an alternative use. You could spend it. You could save it. You could invest it. You could use it to acquire education. You could pay down expensive debt. You could build a business. The question isn't, is spending bad? The question is, what am I giving up by spending this? That's a much healthier way to think. You don't need to eliminate every pleasure from your life. You need to become intentional about which pleasures are worth the opportunity cost. Because there's a massive difference between I can't afford anything and I choose not to spend money on this because I value something else more. The second person isn't deprived. They're allocating resources. And that's what wealthy behavior actually looks like. Allocation. Not deprivation. Chapter 12, Why Rich People Can Look Less Rich Than You Expect. Here's a fascinating paradox. Some people who look extremely wealthy aren't wealthy. And some people who are genuinely wealthy don't look particularly wealthy. The reason is simple. Wealth is not consumption. Wealth is the value of assets minus liabilities. A person driving a $100,000 car may have a high income. Or they may have a huge loan. A person living in a modest house may have substantial investments. You can't reliably see someone's balance sheet from the outside. And yet, we live in a culture obsessed with visible wealth. Cars, watches, clothes, restaurants, hotels, luxury apartments, social media. That's the wrong scoreboard. Because consumption is visible. Wealth is often invisible. The person who quietly owns appreciating assets may look ordinary. The person financing an extravagant lifestyle may look rich. This is why comparing yourself to other people's lifestyles is financially dangerous. You're comparing your balance sheet to their marketing department. Chapter 13: The Real Purpose of a System. So what should a good personal financial system actually accomplish? It should reduce the number of decisions you need to make. That's it. Think about decision fatigue. Every month you could ask, should I save? Should I invest? How much? Should I pay the credit card? Should I build an emergency fund? Should I increase my retirement contribution? Should I buy this? Should I sell that? Should I invest now or wait? It's exhausting. A good system answers most of those questions in advance. Your bills are automated. Your emergency savings target is defined. Your investment contribution is scheduled. Your debt payments are automated. Your spending has boundaries. Your financial goals are visible. Now your brain doesn't need to make 100 financial decisions every month. It just needs to operate the system. That's what automation does. It turns financial discipline into infrastructure. Chapter 14: The 30-Day Wealth Mechanics Challenge. Now let's make this practical. Forget the millionaire affirmations for the next 30 days. We're going to build a financial machine. 4 weeks. 4 objectives. No motivational speeches required. Week 1: Find the leaks. For the first 7 days, don't try to become perfect. Just observe. Look at the last 3 months of spending. Every transaction. Every subscription. Every recurring payment. Every major purchase. Every convenience expense. Every debt payment. Every investment contribution. And categorize everything. Housing. Food. Transportation. Insurance. Entertainment. Shopping. Subscriptions. Debt. Investments. Miscellaneous. Don't judge yourself. Measure yourself. Because you cannot improve what you refuse to see. At the end of the week, calculate one number. What percentage of your income actually became wealth? Not what you intended to save. Not what you thought you saved. What actually happened? That number is your starting point. Week 2: Build the automation. Now we're going to remove willpower from the equation. Set up automatic transfers where appropriate. Bills. Savings. Investments. Debt payments. Emergency fund contributions. The exact amounts depend on your circumstances. But the principle is simple. Money should move toward your priorities before temptation gets a chance to spend it. This is one of the most powerful changes you can make. Because once the system is running, you don't need to remember. You don't need to negotiate. You don't need to feel motivated. The machine simply executes. Week 3: Attack the biggest lever. Now we ask a harder question. Where is the biggest opportunity? Not the smallest expense. The biggest lever. For one person, it might be housing. For another, debt. For another. Income. For another. An expensive car. For another. A lack of investing. For another. Career stagnation. Don't spend 3 hours trying to save $5. If increasing your income by $10,000 is realistic, that may deserve far more attention. If eliminating expensive debt could dramatically improve cash flow, focus there. If your housing cost is consuming an enormous percentage of income, look there. Personal finance isn't about winning tiny battles. It's about identifying the variables that can materially change the trajectory. Week 4, create your personal wealth rules. Now write down your rules. Not motivational statements. Rules. For example, every raise increases my lifestyle by less than the full raise. I invest automatically every month. I don't carry unnecessary high-cost debt. I maintain an emergency reserve appropriate to my circumstances. I don't make major financial decisions because of social pressure. I don't buy things simply because I can afford the monthly payment. I wait before making large discretionary purchases. I review my finances once a month instead of obsessing over them every day. These rules matter because future you will eventually be tired. Future you will be emotional. Future you will see an incredible sale. Future you will experience a bad market. Future you will get a raise. Future you will want the lifestyle upgrade. Rules protect future you from present you's impulses. Chapter 15, The Monthly Financial Check-in. And here's where we do something incredibly boring. Once a month. Check 5 numbers. Number 1. Income. How much came in? Number 2. Savings rate. How much did you keep? Number 3. Investments. How much capital did you put to work? Number 4. Debt. Did expensive debt increase or decrease? Number 5. Net worth. What happened to your total financial position? That's it. You don't need to watch the market every 5 minutes. You don't need to follow 20 financial influencers. You don't need to predict the next crash. You need to know whether your system is moving in the right direction. Because wealth building is not a spectator sport. Watching other people talk about money doesn't build your wealth. Executing your system does. Chapter 16, What about positive thinking? Now let's be fair. Positive thinking isn't evil. Mindset isn't useless. And I'm not telling you to become a miserable cynic. Your beliefs matter. If you believe you can never earn more, you may never try. If you believe investing is impossible, you may never learn. If you believe every financial risk is terrifying, you may keep everything in cash forever. So mindset can absolutely affect behavior. But here's the distinction. Mindset should be the operating system, not the engine. The engine is still behavior. Income, savings, investing, risk management, time. You can have an incredibly positive mindset and terrible financial mechanics. And you can have an ordinary mindset while quietly building enormous wealth. That's why I don't want you to throw mindset away. I want you to demote it. Put it in its proper place. Use mindset to support the system. Don't use mindset as a substitute for the system. Chapter 17, The Dangerous Side of the Millionaire Mindset. There's another problem with extreme mindset culture. It can create self-blame. Imagine someone works hard for years, but doesn't become financially successful. The mindset industry can tell them, you didn't believe enough. You have limiting beliefs. You have a scarcity mindset. You attracted the wrong circumstances. That's an incredibly convenient explanation, because it puts the entire responsibility on the individual. But reality is more complicated. People have different starting points, different incomes, different family responsibilities, different countries, different health circumstances, different education, different economic environments, different opportunities, different access to capital, different luck. And sometimes, people simply experience terrible circumstances. Personal finance should empower people, not shame them. If you're struggling financially, the answer isn't automatically that your mindset is broken. Sometimes your expenses are too high. Sometimes your income is too low. Sometimes debt is crushing you. Sometimes the economy is bad. Sometimes you need better skills. Sometimes you need better information. Sometimes you need help. And sometimes, you just need time. Chapter 18, The Real Secret, Boring Consistency. If there is one characteristic shared by almost every successful long-term wealth-building strategy, it's consistency. Not excitement. Not intensity. Consistency. Imagine investing $500. Nothing spectacular happens. Then another $500. Another. You continue through good markets. You continue through bad markets. You continue when everyone is optimistic. You continue when everyone is terrified. You continue when financial media says the world is ending. You continue when social media says everyone is getting rich from the latest asset. Years pass. And suddenly, the boring behavior has created something extraordinary. That's the paradox of compounding. The process feels small. Until it doesn't. Chapter 19, The Millionaire Mindset Replacement. So if we were to replace the millionaire mindset, what would we replace it with? I would call it the mechanical wealth mindset. And it has 7 principles. Principle 1, Income matters. Don't pretend income doesn't matter. Increase your economic value. Build skills. Negotiate. Change roles when appropriate. Create additional income streams when sensible. Principle 2, Savings create capital. You can't invest money you constantly consume. Create a gap between income and spending. Principle 3, Automation beats willpower. If something matters, automate it. Principle 4, Ownership beats appearance. Focus on assets and net worth. Not looking rich. Principle 5, Time is an asset. Compounding needs time. Don't constantly interrupt it. Principle 6, Avoid catastrophic mistakes. A great investment strategy can be destroyed by excessive debt, fraud, reckless leverage, uninsured risks, or uncontrolled spending. Protect the downside. Principle 7, Boring is good. If your financial system is boring, that's often a feature, not a bug. Chapter 20, The One Question That Changes Everything. There's one question I want you to start asking whenever you make a financial decision. Not, can I afford this? That's too easy. Instead ask, what does this decision make easier or harder for future me? That question changes the entire conversation. A $5,000 purchase isn't just $5,000. It's also what that $5,000 could have become. A large monthly car payment isn't just a car payment. It's a recurring claim on your future income. A higher salary isn't just more money. It's an opportunity to increase your savings rate. A promotion isn't just a title. It can change your long-term capital building capacity. A low-cost investment isn't exciting. But repeated for decades, it can become enormously important. Every financial decision is a vote for a future version of your life. And that is much more useful than telling yourself you're already rich. Chapter 21. Stop trying to look like the person you want to become. Here's one final trap. Sometimes people try to perform wealth before they've actually built wealth. They buy the clothes, the car, the watch, the apartment, the vacations, the lifestyle, because they want to feel successful. And there's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying your money. The problem occurs when the appearance of success consumes the capital required to create actual financial freedom. Think about the difference. Looking wealthy requires consumption. Becoming wealthy often requires ownership. Those are opposite directions. Consumption takes capital away from you. Ownership can potentially put capital to work. And that's why the person quietly investing every month may be doing something far more financially significant than the person posting a luxury vacation. One is buying an experience. The other may be buying future optionality. Chapter 22. Your future doesn't need a better vision board. Imagine we meet 10 years from now. And I ask, what changed? You could tell me. I finally learned to visualize abundance. But what I'd rather hear is, my income increased. My savings rate increased. My debt decreased. My investments grew. I stopped making impulsive financial decisions. I automated my finances. I allowed compounding to work. That's a much better story. Because those things leave evidence. They're visible in the numbers. And that's the beautiful thing about financial mechanics. They don't require you to believe in them. They work whether you're inspired or not. Compound interest doesn't need motivation. An automatic investment doesn't need motivation. A paid-off debt doesn't need motivation. A growing emergency fund doesn't need motivation. A higher salary doesn't need motivation. A lower expense ratio doesn't need motivation. The system just runs. Final chapter. You don't need to think like a millionaire. So, is the millionaire mindset completely a scam? Not exactly. That's too simplistic. Mindset matters. Your beliefs influence your behavior. Your behavior influences your financial decisions. And your financial decisions influence your outcomes. But the internet took this small truth and turned it into a gigantic promise. It told people that wealth begins with thinking differently. I would argue something slightly different. Wealth begins when your behavior becomes different. And then, that behavior becomes a system. And then, the system runs for a very long time. That's where the magic happens. Not in the vision board. Not in the affirmation. Not in the Lamborghini. Not in the motivational seminar. In the automatic transfer. The investment account. The skill you spent 6 months learning. The raise you negotiated. The purchase you decided to skip. The lifestyle inflation you controlled. The asset you kept owning. The year you stayed invested. And then another year. And another. And another. That's wealth. It's not glamorous. It's not particularly viral. And unfortunately, you can't package it into a $4,997 mindset course quite as easily. Because the real formula is almost painfully simple. Earn. Keep. Invest. Protect. Repeat. For a long time. And if you want to make it even simpler, remember this. Don't try to become the person who constantly thinks about becoming rich. Become the person whose financial system keeps building wealth, even when they're busy living their life. Because that's the real goal. Not to spend your entire life thinking about money. The goal is to build a financial system that eventually gives you the freedom to think about other things. Your family. Your work. Your health. Your creativity. Your time. your life. And maybe that's the biggest irony of the millionaire mindset. The people selling you endless content about becoming wealthy can convince you to spend your entire life thinking about wealth. But actual financial freedom is supposed to do the opposite. It is supposed to make money less central to your life. So forget the Lamborghini. Forget the affirmations. Forget trying to wake up every morning feeling like a millionaire. Instead, open your bank account. Look at the numbers. Find the leaks. Increase the gap. Automate the savings. Invest consistently. Increase your earning power. Protect yourself from catastrophic mistakes. And then, give it time. 30 days to build the system. 300 days to make it feel normal. Several years to see meaningful progress. And potentially decades to see what compounding can really do. That's not as exciting as manifestation. But it's real. And real is better. Because you don't need a millionaire mindset. You need a system that works when your mindset doesn't. And once you build that system, you may discover something much more interesting than becoming a millionaire. You may discover that you no longer need to chase money every single day. Because your money has finally started working for you. The final question. So before you leave, I want you to answer one question. Not in the comments. Not for me. For yourself. If you disappeared from your financial life for the next 12 months, would your system still move you forward? Would money still be saved? Would investments still happen? Would debt still decline? Would your expenses remain under control? Would your income continue growing? Would your financial future still be moving in the right direction? If the answer is yes, you've built something powerful. If the answer is no, that's okay. Because now you know what to build. Don't build a better vision board. Build a better machine. And let the machine do what motivation never could. Keep moving. Month after month. Year after year. Quietly. Boringly. Consistently. Until one day, you look back and realize that the wealth you spent years trying to feel was actually being built. One mechanical decision at a time. That's the real millionaire mindset. Not thinking like a millionaire. Operating like one.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।